Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
Today, we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a video about dancing, a book that talks about all about the monarch butterfly, and we have a totally awesome guest. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Andrea Grace. Andrea runs a center for healing people in a number of different ways.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And today we're going to start off with a video of the week, and this is going to be a boogie.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
And now it's time for the video game of the week. Today's video game is Giant Dancing Simulator. This game is made by Crazy Cores. Because it's on Roblox, you are able to play it on PC, Mac, Xbox, and even your cell phone. And it is free.
Cool. Everybody loves something free.
That's right. And you may remember Crazy Cores from his other games like Mini Dancing Simulator and Zombie Killing Simulator.
Cool.
So that's a lot of simulators. So first off, you start the game and you are on an island with portals where you get to claim one. Then, when you select one, it gives you to an island all to yourself. Then you are told that to add a dancer to your dance floor and they will dance with you, kind of like a backup dancer.
Cool.
So you start to dance and it earns coins. You can use the coins to unlock more dancers or you can upgrade dance moves. The dance moves gives you a multiplier to your money. Each move adds between 15 to 30 coins. But when you learn new dance moves, they are worth so much more. You can do moves like the boogie woogie and the moonwalk.
Can you moonwalk?
Kind of.
Nice. I think you're good.
Mm-hmm. Well, I give Giant Dancing Simulator 8 out of 10 stars because I really like dancing, but my dad tried it and got bored pretty quickly. He says that the dance moves were cool, but he needs more content and things to do.
I don't know. I think dancing is for everyone, right? It's about getting your energy moving.
Mm-hmm.
See, TiberiusSmithLaw.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
That website again is CWSmithLaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
And now it's time for the book of the week, Getting to Know Nature's Children, Monarch Butterfly. This book is written by Bill Ivey. Let me read you the back of the book. In fact, Andrea, would you like to do the honor?
Sure. So the back of the book says, everything you ever wanted to know about the monarch butterfly. This book describes the physical characteristics, habits, and habitats of the monarch butterfly.
Nice. And this is an AI book and is worth 0.5 points or half a point. This is a great series about everything nature. This is an old book series, so they may be hard to find. It's rated for 5th grade and 5th month, by the way. My dad found this series for me, and I have learned about lots of different animals. Trust me, there's like 33 books.
I'm sure you're learning a lot.
Yep, this is not like my normal books. This is not fiction. Instead, this is more of a resource book, kind of like a dictionary, but instead it's all about the monarch butterfly. If you wanted to know anything about the monarch butterfly, then this is the book to read. For those that don't know, the monarch butterfly has 4 transformations, starting with the egg, the caterpillar, and then the chrysalis, and then the butterfly.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a little encyclopedia.
Exactly. Now, I won't tell you everything, but this is a great resource if you wanted to know that the monarch butterfly lays over 400 eggs. And when it's a caterpillar, they have 12 eyes, but still has very poor eyesight.
What? These are great facts.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I give Getting to Know Nature's Children Monarch Butterfly 9 out of 10 stars because I enjoyed learning everything I ever wanted to know about monarch butterflies, and it explained a lot of questions that I didn't even know I had. I really like that the caterpillar has 13 rings-like sections, and they breathe through holes in these sections. I know. And now it's time for an interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Andrea Grace. Andrea runs a center for healing people and also provides training workshops.
I do, and it's right here in Berkeley Heights in New Jersey. Have you ever been to New Jersey?
Nope, but I have. Well, actually, I have been because I was going to New Jersey for a funeral.
Oh, okay.
But I visited New York City in the meantime.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, I got to see the Statue of Liberty for the first time in person.
Very cool.
I know.
Did you go inside?
No, of course not. We did not have the money. So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
Oh my gosh, I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun.
So you run a healing center. Can you explain to my listeners what type of healing that you offer?
Yeah, the healing that I offer is the Eastern kind. So it's based on how the subtle energies move through the different parts of your being. So for example, you have your physical body. So we work on bringing balance to your physical body by stress reduction. We work on bringing calm to your emotional body, the emotional part of your being. And then we also help to de-stress the mind.
Okay. So what type of things are you able to help people with? Like, what does it fix?
So it doesn't fix in as much as that it helps your innate intelligence to heal and to bring balance to work optimally. So whatever it is that's going on that's out of balance, we can help bring balance to it. So oftentimes we see that a lot of physical ailments begin with stress. So we work a lot on helping calm the causes of the stress, for example. So it could be that it helps headaches, stomach aches, back pain, shoulder pain, things like that. Yeah.
Migraines?
Yeah. People come from migraines.
Okay, well, my mom should probably go see you.
No.
Because
Yeah,
she
I
has a
can
lot
help
of
you.
headaches and migraines.
Yeah, sometimes I work with people remotely even.
So how long have you been doing this job?
So I opened up my center, which is where I'm in right now, in 2008. I'm Australian originally. So I moved here to the East Coast in 2002, and then I opened up this space and started my work in 2008.
Nice. So what is the difference between alternative or holistic healing in modern medicine?
So alternative and holistic healing is about looking at the whole person, whereas Western medicine tends to look at the symptoms and the part. So we see how everything is interrelated and interconnected. So I might ask questions not only, so let's say you had a headache, I might ask questions about what's your work like, what's your home life like, what are your eating habits, what are your drinking habits. And so we look at all of the aspects that could be contributing to what gives you the headaches and the migraines.
Okay. Well, of all of the different types of healing services, which is the most fun for you to do?
I practice something called quantum healing hypnosis, which they're all fun, by the way. I love what I do. I'm so blessed to live the kind of life that I do. I live a great life because of the work that I do, but I practice something called quantum healing hypnosis. And this is a method that helps people to access the part of their mind that remembers other lives or other stories that could be influencing your life now. And that's really fun because I hear a lot of different stories through all time and all space.
Okay.
It's very interesting, yeah.
So what got you interested in working with the industry of alternative healing?
It's a great question. I think that there was a curiosity, and I think it was part of my kind of design or life's plan in a way. I wasn't always doing it, but there were situations in my life that had me thinking that there must be other ways that we can use our mind that can then affect our bodies in a way that's beneficial for our lives. And so I was very curious about that, and I started to learn. About that. Yeah.
Cool. So what is the best part about working in this industry?
I help people. People come in, say, I might ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, how stressed and upset or how big is your grievance? And they might say, I'm at a level 8, level 9. And then I can ask them when they walk out how they feel. And they'll say, my stress has gone right down to a level 2. So I'm at peace. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, better. Thank you. You can be my marketer. Yeah.
So does it take a lot of training to be able to do this job?
So for me, I feel that it was, again, part of my soul's purpose here. So while I took quite a lot of training, I think it seems like that. It didn't feel like that because I took the training over a lot of time. And a lot of things came very naturally to me. And so it's kind of like, my gifts that I can bring to the world and to individuals, and just helping people to feel at peace around things, to get the higher perspective on things,
Okay. Well, what is the difference between meditation healing and energy healing?
That is a great question. I don't even know if you realize how great a question that is. I would say that meditation is one of the more sophisticated forms of healing because you're using the mind to move the energy. Whereas when you're doing energy healing, you're using your hands, you're laying your hands. You may incorporate meditation. You often incorporate breath work as well. So I would say that the energy healing is kind of like the bridge to getting to healing through the mind and through meditation. They're equally as powerful, equally as miraculous.
Okay. So you are an expert in energy healing, otherwise known as Reiki. What types of things do Reiki treat? Like what type of issues do people use Reiki for?
Right. So we talked about that a little bit, right? So I would say that a lot of people ask for Reiki because they have been recommended by their therapist that they need to do something else to help relieve their anxiety or their stress or their panic attacks. So a lot of people come from the emotional side of things to help bring balance there. But then some people have experienced miraculous shifts with things that are going on in their physical bodies as well, like we talked about, like the headaches, the migraines, the back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, stomach. We call them projects actually, and we call things projects, not conditions or ailments, because projects are fun. And there are many ways that we can work on a project, not just one way. And so we can use our creative mind to find alternative solutions. But even, so even chest projects like helping breathing or helping move past a cold or a flu, or even help repair a broken bone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's nice. So how does the energy work? Is it like electricity? Does it hurt?
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It's very subtle. It's very gentle. People often get very, very relaxed in a session to the point where they fall asleep. And that's a good thing because then, the body's innate wisdom, its own intelligence can work optimally, can work in the best way. So is it like electricity? Kind of. It's a very subtle kind of electricity. For example, you might, the way that you will experience it might be through a subtle tingling. Your body might sigh. You might even burp, actually. Sometimes you will feel a heat, sometimes a coolness. You might feel little pins and needles kind of feeling. Yeah, that's how you would experience it.
Okay. Well, can you do energy healing remotely, like on Zoom?
Yes, because the energy is wise, and it's your own body's intelligence that's working. It's your own nature that's working. So we just work together to help create the conditions for your own body's intelligence to work. Yeah.
Okay, so kind of run me through it. What kind of tasks does an alternative healer do on a daily basis?
What kind of task does an alternative healer do on a daily basis? Well, so I'm booking my clients, so I'm scheduling. But then I'm going to run you through a session. So the client would come in, and then we would talk about what it is that they came for. And then we would talk about what is it that you would like, what would it be like for you if you were on the other side of it, if it was in the past, if it was over. And so we get that in the mind. And then here, actually, I can maybe, oh no, you don't want me to change my video. I was going to show you my setup here. But you will lay fully clothed on a Reiki table. And then I go take you through a nice guided, gentle meditation, some breath work, and then I'll begin the treatment protocol. And so whatever it is that we talked about, there's a treatment protocol that will work best for what we talked about. But it's creative. Okay. There are many different ways that I can work. Yeah.
Okay, so you do meditation. Is that something that kids could do?
Definitely. I highly recommend kids practicing some kind of meditation, even if it's as simple as laying your hand on your belly and just paying attention to what it feels like to breathe with your hand on your belly. That's one of the simplest things that I teach the kids. I have a program for children specifically for meditation to teach different ways.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between guided and unguided meditation?
Great question. So guided is like using your imagination as the bridge to be able to connect with the part of your mind that never has any problems. There's a part of you that is always at peace, has humor, and has the answers to your problems. And then there's you, the part that gets upset, wants things, gets upset when it doesn't get the things that it wants. And so the guided acts like a bridge to be able to connect to that part.
That makes sense.
And so the second kind of meditation where you're not doing a guided, it's called a point of focus meditation, and that is that you're paying attention, you're focusing your attention on just one thing. And so that's why it's called mindful meditation. So it's kind of an interesting phrase because it's your mind is full, but it's only full of one thing, which makes things very simple in your mind. And so that one thing that you could be focusing on could be your breathing. It could be listening. You could be listening to the sounds around you. It could be your own music. It could be well, so music could be distracting, but it depends. It could be a kind of a healing music. For example, let's see, there's a kind of sound frequency called binaural beats, which we can use to help balance the left and the right hemispheres of our brain, which can be helpful. Or there are different kinds of healing sounds. But sure, you can use it. Some people meditate with their eyes open, and they might be using their gaze to help with meditation, to focus intently, say, on a flower or on a flame or something like that.
Nice. So what is the hardest part about working in the alternative healing industry?
The hardest part is explaining what I do. It's best to experience it, I think. That's the way that you can truly understand what I do. I think that's the hardest part. Educating people on how beneficial this subtle healing arts can be, because the natural healing arts are set up to be preventative care, prophylactic care. And so that's how we're better positioned, and that's how we work in complement with the allopathic or the Western medicine.
Okay.
Because obviously it's better to go to if you break your bone, it's better to go to the doctor to have the doctor reset the bone, and then as the bone is healing, once the bone is being, then come to me to reduce the pain, to reduce the inflammation, to expedite the healing process, let the cells do their job. Yeah.
Well, what's the greatest achievement while working in this field?
One of my clients said that working with me, spending 3 hours with me, was more beneficial than 30 years of therapy.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I see miracles every day. One woman came in, she had developed food allergies to the point where she could not keep any kind of food down. She was a vegetarian, but she was subsisting on meat and rice. And so after our session, we did a quantum healing hypnosis session. And after that session, she immediately was able to resume eating a full spectrum of food. So that was really amazing.
That's nice. Well, what is the craziest situation that you have run into while working in your passion?
The craziest situation was when a client could not get herself out of a panic attack. And so the way I handled that in that time, she really just needed to be held. And that's what I did. Luckily, my client was a lot smaller than I am. And so it was easy for me to just be able to scoop her up and give her a nice big hug, because hugs are medicine. Hugs help sedate our stress response. It helps to bring down the adrenaline and to bring up what's called the oxytocin, which is kind of like our feel-good hormone. And so that was probably the craziest, and I was able to heal it with a hug.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always know that you were going to work with alternative healing?
I did not. I was interested in it even when I was little, because one of my uncles was a reflexologist, and so I was fascinated about it. Actually, I thought I would be a teacher, and I did become a teacher, but that's what I thought I would do.
Wow. Well, if you could think of one thing that would make your job easier, what would it be? I know, good question.
Good. I think if I had an admin, that would make my job a lot easier.
Okay. Well, what advice would you give to my listeners if they wanted to grow up and work in holistic healing?
I would say start with taking a Reiki Level 1 class. Reiki Level 1 is life-changing, and it can really set the foundation for giving you a sense of whether it's something that you do want to do in your life, whether you can be disciplined enough to practice on your own. And then if you are, then you'll be able to extend it to others. And then starting a meditation practice.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, what is the best reason for a kid to grow up and want to be in this vocation?
You help people. A lot of my clients that come in and do the quantum healing work, where we have the opportunity to, again, speak to that part of you that is the highest, wisest, and most loving and most ancient part of yourself. Like I said, it's the part of you that doesn't get upset, that is always at peace. When clients come and connect with that part, often it turns out that they also have an ability to heal and to help people, to help children, to help women, to help fathers, to help humanity be at peace and to know themselves as joy. Yeah.
Well, if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
Everything's going to be okay.
Okay. Well, what was the first job that you ever had?
I was a checkout chick in Woolworths. Woolworths is a supermarket in Australia. I'm from Adelaide originally. And so Woolworths is a supermarket, and I was a checkout chick.
Okay. So was there anything you learned from that exact job that helped you to be a better holistic healer?
Maybe pattern recognition. I was really good at being a checkout chick. That they put me on the checkout that was for 10 items or less, and so I was able to recognize the patterns and remember the codes very well. So there are some protocols that we do where you need to kind of remember the sequence, and once you remember the sequence, I don't know if you've seen the movie Karate Kid, where the sensei teaches him wipe on, wipe off. It's kind of like that.
I love that scene. It's like,
right,
wipe on, wipe off,
right.
wax
so
on, wax off.
So it's muscle memory, and so there are certain hand placements and that is helpful to remember the sequence. So I think that's how working as a checkout chick helped me.
Were you like one of those fast workers?
I really was.
Were you
and I remembered all the codes. for the vegetables. I knew all the vegetables in the grocery store.
Nice. Well, what was the biggest mistake you ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
I don't know whether it's a mistake necessarily, but I would say getting married when I didn't quite know myself. And so I was still learning who I was. And so when I entered into that relationship, I found that I struggled with who I was. I couldn't be myself in the relationship. And so therefore I couldn't hold a really good container for the relationship. And so I learned a lot from that. That actually then was the springboard, I think, into really getting to know what I am. Like, so for example, one of the questions that people often ask is, what comes first, your emotions or your thoughts? Do your thoughts create your emotions? Is it because of what you're thinking, that's how you're feeling? Because it doesn't seem like that, especially when you're younger. It feels like the feeling comes first, and then you have thoughts about the feeling. And so that was one of the questions that I asked, and then I was able to, learn the answer. The answer is that your thoughts come first, even though it feels like your emotions are first because you feel them so strongly.
Mm-hmm. So when you're not working as a holistic healer, what do you do for fun?
I like hiking. Right now I'm gardening. I'm growing an edible garden, my own vegetable garden.
Nice.
I spend time with my friends. I like to travel.
Well, do you play video games? And if you do, what's your favorite one?
I wish I could say yes, but I don't. I think the last video game that I played would have been a dance video.
Not even on your
actually.
phone? You don't play games on your phone?
Sorry to disappoint you. Yeah, I know.
Okay. Well, what's your favorite book to read?
I also like reference books. I have a book called A Course in Miracles, and I look at that book every day. It gives me a lesson to practice, and then it also gives me text to contemplate and to meditate on and to think about. And it's a good foundation for I think that your principles of lion. It incorporates those principles actually.
Okay. Well, now can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid show, but that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Let's see, the one story that I'm not supposed to tell you, even though it's a kid show. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
So when I was very small, when I was around 5 or 6 years old, and you know how when you want something and your parents say you can't have it, but you really, really want it? Yeah, so one time I stole a water pistol from the toy store. And then then my mom found it, right? And then she says, where did you get this from? And I lied, and I said, I found it at school. And she said, well, it looks awfully new for you to have found it at school. And I said, yeah, it was in the drinking trough, because outside of our we call it a primary school, not an elementary school, but outside the primary school, it's very hot in Australia. So we'd have these kind of water troughs. And so I said, I found it. They're made out of metal. I said, oh yeah, I found it in the water trough.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, she got it out of me though. And so I ended up having to take the toy back to the toy store. Yeah, and apologize to, that was the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do the exact same thing. Well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
That people who work with me say that my voice helps them go into deeper states of relaxation. And I like to hear that, because then it tells me that even my voice is an instrument of healing for people. Okay.
Well, do you have a website or Facebook for my listeners who want to follow you?
I do, and I have a YouTube channel as well. So my website, I have two websites. I have andreagrace.com, and I also have elilacenter.com. So Elila Center is for my center here in Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. And that's spelled ELILA Center, CENTER.com. And then if you go onto YouTube, you can look me up through my name, Andrea Grace. And if you're looking me up on YouTube, you can probably use Andrea Grace with QHHT, because that's kind of the niche work. And I have some meditations on the YouTube channel, and I also have some
Nice.
yeah, and I have some sessions, client sessions that people can listen to if they're curious.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
I think you forgot to ask me what is the keys to the kingdom? What is the answer to life?
Well, what is it?
42.
That's right.
No, the keys to the kingdom is that if you are feeling a grievance, and if you're feeling something physical showing up in your body, there is always the other side of it. You're not stuck in it. There's always a solution. If something's manifesting in your life, if something's showing up as an unpleasant relationship, a grievance with a friend, or a conflict, if it's showing up as a condition or an ailment or a project, like we say, in the body, there is always something that can be done about it. Healing is always available to you.
That's nice. Well, thank you, Andrea, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
I would love to. Thank you for inviting me.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
Thank you, Andrea, for helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're going to do some more multi-step word problems. You know, my dad is going to love showing me how much math can be used in the real world. Okay, here we go. Pablo bought stamps at the post office. Some of the stamps had a snowflake design, some had a truck design, and some had a rose design. Pablo bought 10 snowflake stamps. He bought 5 more truck stamps than snowflake stamps, and 12 fewer rose stamps than truck stamps. How many stamps did Pablo buy in all? So this is pretty straightforward, but longer than most word problems. And of course, my dad wants me to make a formula for it. Since they want to know the total number of stamps, it's really just X in the total of all the different types of stamps. Okay. So we know he bought 10 snowflake stamps. Let's see. 5 more than that is 15 truck stamps. And then 12 fewer rose stamps. So it's just 3 rose stamps. Now we add them all together and we get 10 plus 15 plus 3. And that equals 28 stamps total. Now that's a lot of stamps.
It is a lot of stamps.
Exactly. So Andrea, do you now know all about solving multi-step word problems?
I do now.
My teacher says that I would use math every day. Do you use math in your job?
I do, because I need to do my books,
And
my accounts.
tracking your clients and your money.
That's right. It's bookkeeping. Right?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Andrea, for your help with Math Corners.
Oh, my great pleasure.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership is the act of loving what is good, having self-control, and being disciplined. The qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others.
Yeah, they're important.
So this week, my dad took me to the store to buy a present for a holiday. The person that was supposed to get the present really likes the beach and chocolate candies. He told me to look around the store and decide on the number of items to get. I went to the candy aisle right away and selected a number of bags of candy. 3.
You did?
Now, my dad could have just let me finish and go on with his day, but my dad said that those were not great choices for a present, and that there was only one bag was needed. So he provided direction and told me to organize my thoughts about what would make this person happy. I found like 15 beach-themed items that had motivational messages on them and that they would look good on a desk. Well, my dad provided guidance and encouraged me to be a positive influence by adjusting my choices to match what would make for a better gift.
Yeah, it was really good. Very thoughtful.
Thank you. So, Andrea, did you see or use leadership at all this week?
Yes. Part of my work that I do outside of the work that I do is I help a grassroots organization called NJ Stands Up. And that's for helping families and communities with their freedoms and their liberties. And so, yes, in fact, just before I came here, I was on one of those calls helping to lead and organize an event that's happening on Sunday. There's a barbecue that's happening here.
Nice.
For families, the All-American Barbecue.
Nice. Well, of all of the Heart of a Lion virtues, which virtue do you think my listeners need to know about the most?
I think I'm going with integrity. In Reiki, there is something called the Gokai, which is, in Japanese, it's Kyo dake wa ikaru na shimpai suna kansha shite kyo hageme hito ni shinsetsu ni. And there are five in there, which I just spoke. And so one of them is Gyo hageme is do your work diligently. And it means like do your work with integrity. And the work part is whatever it is that you're doing. Whether it's your homework, whether it's doing the dishes, whether it's cleaning up your room, whether it's actually hanging out with your friend. Your work is whatever it is that you're showing up for. And to do that with integrity means that you're doing it with attention and with presence. So that's what I would say for that.
We should always try and be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
I think so. I love it.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Andrea Grace for being on my show.
Wow, thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. I loved it.
You're welcome, and it has been so much to talk about today. I think we learned a lot about different ways of healing. What is your website again?
AndreaGrace.com or ElilaCenter.com.
Nice. And also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show. And please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and like and subscribe. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The Tiberius Show. Dear host, Tiberius!